Richard Hale had built his empire from nothing. Every headline, every award, every magazine cover had celebrated him as the genius of the digital age. But now, in the quiet of his 37th floor office, all that glory seemed to shatter in a single night. His sleek computer screen glowed with numbers he wished he had never seen. The red alert screamed louder than any alarm, announcing that nearly $2.9 billion had been siphoned out of his company's accounts in a devastating cyberattack. He leaned forward, his hands trembling as he refreshed the screen again and again, hoping it was some mistake, some glitch. But every confirmation, every notification, only deepened the truth: his empire was bleeding. The once invincible fortress of wealth and technology he had built was now vulnerable, and worse, collapsing before his eyes. Outside his glass walls, employees huddled in nervous groups. Whispers floated through the corridors. Rumors of bankruptcy, layoffs, the end of their futures. Fear spread like wildfire, and though Richard had always been a commanding figure, today he looked smaller, weaker, almost human. His suit was sharp, his office vast, but his eyes told a different story, of a man crushed by something beyond his control. For the first time in years, Richard felt powerless. Not even his billions, his influence, or his intelligence could protect him from this invisible enemy. The silence of the room pressed in on him, broken only by the cold glow of the screen spelling out his downfall. Late that night, the building was nearly empty. The once busy hallways, filled with the hum of ambition, now echoed with silence. Richard remained in his office, slouched in his chair, his tie loosened and his eyes hollow from staring too long at the fading glow of his computer screen. He had been a man of power, a name people spoke with awe or fear, but tonight he looked like a man stripped of everything except exhaustion. The faint sound of footsteps and the soft swish of a mop interrupted the stillness. Mr. Alvarez, the night janitor, moved quietly from corner to corner, his motions slow but steady. He didn't belong to the world of billionaires and digital empires. His life was simple, built on long hours of quiet work and a heart full of humility. Beside him, his 12-year-old daughter, Sophia, sat patiently on a chair with her sketchbook. Her small legs swung gently, her pencil scratching across the paper as she lost herself in drawing. Sophia lifted her eyes for a moment and noticed Richard. The man she had only seen in magazines or on TV didn't look powerful at all. His head was buried in his hands, his shoulders heavy with something she didn't fully understand. She tugged at her father's sleeve and whispered, "Why does he look so sad?" Her innocent question filled the quiet room like a soft breeze. Mr. Alvarez glanced at Richard, then at his daughter, but said nothing. Yet the words hung in the air, reaching Richard's ears, touching him in a way that no headline or report could. Richard lifted his head, startled by the tiny voice. His tired eyes met the curious gaze of the little girl. For a moment, he almost felt annoyed. How could a child understand the weight of losing billions? But something in her innocence disarmed him. He forced a weary smile and asked gently, "Why are you staring at me like that?" Sophia hesitated, clutching her sketchbook to her chest. Her father gave her a reassuring nod, and with quiet courage, she spoke. "You look like someone who lost everything." Her words, so simple yet so true, struck Richard deeper than he expected. He sighed, nodding faintly. "I have. Almost $3 billion, gone." But instead of reacting with shock, the girl tilted her head and said softly, "Money can come and go, sir. But you still have people. If you care for them, they will never leave you." Richard blinked, unsure whether to laugh or cry. No board member, no consultant, no powerful partner had spoken words so profound. Yet here was a 12-year-old girl, reminding him of something he had long forgotten, that wealth wasn't just numbers in an account, but the trust and loyalty of those around him. For the first time in hours, his heart felt lighter. He leaned back in his chair, her words echoing in his mind. It was as though she had opened a window in a suffocating room, letting in a breath of air he hadn't realized he needed. The next morning, the atmosphere in the company was tense. Employees filled the auditorium, their faces pale with fear, whispering about layoffs and bankruptcy. Some clutched their phones, already updating resumes, others sat stiffly, waiting for the inevitable announcement that their futures had been erased along with the billions. When Richard stepped onto the stage, the room fell silent. Normally, his presence carried power and authority, but today there was something different in his eyes. He wasn't here as the untouchable billionaire, he was here as a man humbled by loss. He took a deep breath, his voice steady but heavy with emotion. "I won't lie to you," he began, looking out over the worried crowd. "We have suffered a devastating loss. I lost billions. But last night, someone reminded me that money is not everything." He paused, glancing at Mr. Alvarez and Sophia who stood quietly at the side of the hall. "What truly matters is people, you. This company was built by your dedication, your brilliance, your loyalty. And I refuse to let fear or greed destroy that." Gasps rippled through the audience as he continued. "No one is losing their job. Not today, not tomorrow. We will rebuild, not just with technology and numbers, but with trust, with unity, with heart." The room, once silent with dread, erupted into applause. Tears shimmered in the eyes of employees who had prepared for the worst, but instead found hope. For the first time, Richard didn't see numbers staring back at him, he saw people, and they believed in him again. Weeks passed, and slowly the company began to recover. The cyberattack had left scars, but something greater had taken root in its place, a sense of unity, of loyalty, of purpose that no amount of money could buy. Richard was no longer the distant billionaire perched high above his people, he was walking among them, listening, encouraging, and rebuilding with them side by side. One bright afternoon, the company held a special event in its main hall. A large banner read, "The Sophia Scholarship Fund, for every child with a dream." Employees and their families gathered, filling the room with warmth and excitement. On stage stood Richard, not in his usual sharp business armor, but in a simple suit, his expression softened with gratitude. Beside him was Sophia, holding her sketchbook, her small hand tucked into her father's. Richard's voice trembled as he spoke, "When I thought I had lost everything, this little girl reminded me of what true wealth means. It is not billions in a bank account, it is the kindness we give, the lives we touch, and the hope we inspire." Sophia's words changed me, and today, I want her wisdom to change the world. The hall filled with applause, some wiping away tears. Sophia's shy smile lit up the stage as Richard looked at her with a gratitude deeper than words. In that moment, he realized he had not lost billions, he had gained something priceless. True fortune, he now understood, was found in humanity, and in the courage of a child's simple truth.